Hi everybody, welcome to Dandelion Cottage and Papercrafting Thursday. I'm Leslie Watkins. I hope everybody's well today. This is going to be a pretty short video. I just want to pick up where we left off and I'm going to show you how to make a note card box, or actually I'm going to show you how to decorate a note card box. And if you remember from last week, I made this out of the scraps that I found on my desk. So the background was a discarded watercolor painting that was done by one of my students, and then I stenciled it and stitched it onto the distressed gold paper, and I used some metallic stitching for that. And then I went ahead and added some die cuts and these kind of gold mesh leaves, which I really like, some charms that I had from a while back, and I bumped up these leaves. And this is an older die set, also retired, but they are bumped up on dimensionals and they're curved a little bit to help catch the light, and then of course the bling. Okay, so we've got these gold pearls and some champagne rhinestones, and I like this quite a lot. And I had it with this sort of a violet colored cardstock, which I quite liked, but I went into my cardstock and I found that I really liked it with the Moody Mauve, especially. I mean, both of them are very nice, but I really, actually, I like them together. I may put them together. And then the other color I have is the copper clay, which matched a lot, so that was kind of matchy-matchy. And then again, I have this DSP, Designer Series paper, and I'm going to tell you the name of this pack, and it is Wildly Flowering. Okay, and it has all of the 20, what year? Let me see. I'm going to check my years here because I'm not sure. But I think it's 24, 25 in colors. And I really like those quite a lot. So that's the color palette. And I've gone ahead and I've done a little bit of work ahead of time. And I had to fuss with this a bit because, number one, I wanted the box to be fairly deep, all right? And then I also wanted the box to be able to contain an envelope with the note cards. So if I take this standard size 4 1/4 by 5 1/2 inch envelope and get it inside this plastic, you can see that that fits nicely, and you can still get your fingers in there to be able to lift it out. Because I don't like struggling with these boxes when the cards are in there and you can't, and then you're flipping it over and tapping it. So this way it's sized so that it's loose enough that you can get your hand in there and pull things out. So because of that, I had to fuss with the sizes quite a bit, and I didn't want to have to torture you by making you watch me going through all the sizing on here. So what I finally ended up with is a lid that measures 6 1/4 by 5 by 1 1/2. Okay, so that is my lid, and as you can see, it's going to be a reinforced lid. And what I mean by that is that I have these extra flaps on all 4 sides that I'm going to double up to make it nice and sturdy. So I'm going to go ahead and do that right now. And for this, I'm using my liquid glue. I always use the green glue for all of my box making. And it was important for me to work all these measurements out because I am planning a holiday box making workshop coming right up. And this is going to be a live workshop, so if you're somebody local, then you're hopefully going to be getting a flyer soon in the local paper. And if you're not and you want to learn more about it, please go to dandelioncottagedesign.com. It's not up yet. This is a brand new development, so give me a minute, okay? The information will be on there by the end of the day. But it's a 3-weekend long pop-up, which means that I have a lot of planning to do. And the gift box is not the only thing. I'm going to also be showing you a lot of different paper crafting techniques such as die cutting, heat embossing, stenciling. We're going to make sculpted paper flowers, and there may be more. But the idea is to have a series of workshops that will show you how to make the bases for things like treat holders and Christmas cards and gift card holders and gift boxes, all those sort of things, tags. But then we're going to go into depth on all the various ways that you can decorate them and embellish them, which I think is the really fun part. So a little bit of everything, and that's all going to be coming up very soon. Hopefully I'll have all of that loaded onto the website by the end of the day today. But if you want to make sure that you get all the details, then please make sure that you are subscribed to Notes from Dandelion Cottage, because that's the only way that I can get the word out. And I don't send out a lot of emails, but they do contain all the information that you need to stay up to date, to know what workshops and classes are coming up, what events, and a little bit about what's blooming here at Dandelion Cottage, because you know I love my gardens, and it's so beautiful. And of course, this project that I'm showing you right now is inspired by the view out my window. These are all the colors that I can see as I sit here at my desk making these things. All right, now if you're watching on Facebook, there is a sign up button in the banner above, and that's a shortcut that'll take you right to where you can sign up for Notes and get all the information. Okay, so there is my lid. I'm going to go ahead and give that a good burnishing. So I'm using my bone folder to make sure that that glue is spread evenly and everything is stuffed down well. The burnisher is what sort of locks everything in. So I like to be very firm and make sure I get into all the corners and get a beautiful crease. The other thing that's particularly nice about the reinforced boxes, not only does it make them stronger, but it also gives you a nice rolled corner, which feels very nice. So there's my box. It's going to look something like this. All right, and then I have this beautiful paper, and because the base is such a big and single-sided side, I started with a 12 by 12, and this was as big as I could get it. I want to reinforce the base with this designer series paper. So to do that, I'm going to cut it down a little bit. Let me get my trimmer out. Move some of these things over a bit. And I'm going to cut this to just a little bit shorter than what I started with the box. So I'm going to cut this at about 1/8 of an inch shorter so that I get a nice fit. And the same thing over here. Okay, these can be saved for something. And then I'm going to go ahead on all 4 sides, and let me think about this for a second. I'm going to do this at, what is that? Those are 16ths, so 13/16, I think that is. Let's see, 8, 9, 10. Just short there. All right, we're gonna try this. Oh, and actually, you know what? I'm gonna flip it around because I want to do it on the other side. All right, let's try that again. So, right there. Right, fingers crossed. This paper is so pretty. I haven't had a chance to use it much, but I intend to. Okay, moment of truth. Let's see. Let's see if I measured correctly. It's hard to see where my score is. There we go. Do a quick fit test, and that's perfect. Okay, that fits perfectly that way. Let's try it this way. I just want to check before I make any cuts. And that is a little tight, just a little bit tight. I may have to make a little adjustment here. Let's see. Okay on this side, but it's just a wee bit tight. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to finesse it. So one of the nice things about paper and working with paper is that you can kind of finesse things a little bit. There's a little bit of a give. And so here is where I measured a minute ago. I'm going to go ahead and make that a little bit smaller. On both sides. And then what I can do is I can kind of tug at it. So I'm sort of pulling it just a little bit. I mean, you can't even measure this. It's just a scotch. That's a technical term. And now that's nice and snug. Perfect. Okay, so now that I've got that just the way I want it, I'm going to go ahead, give that a firm burnish. Teresa! Well, hello, stranger. How are you? What's going on in Louisiana? All right, so what I'm going to do is I have my flaps that are counterclockwise going around. So I'm going to go ahead and do the same thing. And on the flap side, I'm just removing a tiny bit. Okay, so just a little, just a tiny little bit of an angle cut to remove a little bit of a wedge. I'm going to go all around here just like that. So straight on the inside and then on the tab. Remove that extra little bit. And I'm hoping that even though the this decorative paper is thinner than the cardstock, I'm hoping that by reinforcing these corners and making the sides a little bit thicker, that it's going to help to strengthen the box. Just enough. Okay. Now I can do an actual fit test here. Might be a little too snug. Let me try it the other way. All right. Well, I think what's happening is that I've got a lot of gain with the extra flaps. So again, I'm just going to tease that in a little bit. And if I have to trim down those flaps a little bit, I can always do that. I like having the flaps there to wrap around the corner, but I've also done this without the flaps, and it makes for a beautiful liner. But let's see if that makes a difference. Oh, okay, I see what's happening here. Oh, okay. It is too big. Back to the trimmer. Okay. I don't want to take up too much time to do this on camera because this is going to get very fussy. But what I will do is I'll show you how it will look. So if I just turn these under a little bit and pop this in, you'll be able to get a sense of what the inside of the box is going to look like, okay? But I'm going to do a better job of this off camera because I don't want to force you to watch me struggle through this. So let's move on to our lid because the lid is ready to go. Now this is the bottom is the copper clay. This is the wild wheat. Then I have a piece of the Moody Mauve and again the copper clay, and that's going to coordinate with the bottom portion of the box, okay? So it looks something like that. And then my decoration. So that's how it's all going to come together. So I'm going to start at the top. And I'm just putting a very fine bead of glue. Not quite to the edge. Get that centered on there. And again, sure I got my corners. That looks good. Move that a tiny bit. Now alternately, what I do many times is just cut out the shape of the bottom of the box to put my decorative paper sort of at the floor of the box. But because this box is not as strong, I really want to do the sides too. And but if you're making a smaller box and if it feels like it's sturdy enough to you, then you can just go ahead and just put a rectangle of the decorative paper at the base, and that would be very pretty. All right, so there's my lid. There's my base. Now I have this nice tag that I made that I want to use. And I have some trim. So this is the wavy trim, and this may be on the clearance rack right now. So you may be able to get some of this. I really like it. It's kind of a very coarse jute, but it has this wonderful design on it that I like quite a lot. And I'm just going to tuck that under. And now I have to decide, do I want to go on all four sides, or do I want to I think I do. All right, let's grab a length of this. I really like this trim with this kind of rustic autumn theme. All right, and then my little tag, I'll just slip underneath. Tie that on. And there it is. Okay, so that is my Eclectic Autumn note card box. And of course it doesn't have to be note cards. It could be anything that you'd like to put in there at all. It could be a scarf. You might be able to put a pair of gloves in there for somebody. Chocolates of all shapes and sizes. So I hope you like that. I really, really love these colors a lot. So I'll give you a close-up of this. Okay, so there it is. I hope you enjoyed that. I hope that gives you some ideas. Remember, if you have a project that has been inspired by something you saw me do here, I'd love to see what you've made. And you can go ahead and post that in the watercolors and Stamping Up paper, no, I keep getting the name wrong. Watercolor and Stamping Up Paper Crafting Projects Facebook group. And all you have to do is just make a comment below so that I recognize your name. Look it up, ask to be invited in, and when I see you there, I will let you in, and you can post all the things that you make using both current and retired product. So I hope you have a wonderful weekend. Stay tuned for the announcement coming right up about all of the upcoming workshops and classes that will be posted in the next issue of Notes from Dandelion Cottage, and by the end of day today, I hope to have that information up on my website at Dandelion Cottage Design. Stay well, stay happy, stay creative, and I will see you next time.